Hello YouTube, I'm Nabil. If you're new here, this is my passion project. This is my channel where I just make videos on what I like. And today I'm gonna be discussing a question that's been on my mind recently. So the question I've been thinking about recently is what actually makes a good life? And that sounds like a really simple question, but it's actually one of the oldest questions in philosophy. When people say they want to be happy or successful or fulfilled, they're really asking is, what does a good life actually look like? For a lot of people, the obvious answer is money or success. If you have enough money, enough comfort, or enough freedom, then your life must be good, right? But we also see people who are incredibly rich and still miserable. So clearly that can't be the whole answer. And philosophers have been thinking about this for thousands of years. One of the most famous takes come from Aristotle, who basically said that the goal of life isn't just pleasure or happiness. He called the good life eudaimonia, which roughly translates to something like human flourishing. And what he meant by that is that living well isn't just about feeling good all the time. It's about developing yourself, using your abilities, and living in a meaningful way. Because if life was only about pleasure, then the best life would just be constant comfort, right? Sitting around, doing nothing, always being entertained. But most people eventually feel empty when they live like that. You see this a lot in the modern day. Someone works towards something difficult for years, learning a skill, building something, becoming better at something. And when they finally achieve it, the satisfaction feels completely different from just relaxing or consuming things. So that suggests that challenge and growth are somehow part of what makes life meaningful. Another big idea that keeps coming up is relationships. There's actually a famous long-term research project called the Harvard Study of Adult Development that followed people for decades, trying to understand what makes people live good lives. And the biggest conclusion they found was that money, career, fame. It was the quality of your relationship. People with strong friendships, close families, or meaningful social connections tended to live longer and report being happier overall, which is interesting because modern life often pushes people toward the opposite direction. More isolation, more individual success, more independence, but psychologically we seem to need connection. There's another question, is happiness even the right goal? Some philosophers argue that chasing happiness directly is actually a mistake because happiness tends to show up as a byproduct of other things. You build something meaningful, you overcome a challenge, you develop a skill, you form deep relationships, and then happiness kind of appears in the background. If you try to chase happiness itself, it often slips away. And the weird thing is that a lot of people assume a good life means avoiding suffering. But many of the things that make life meaningful involve struggle. Training your body is difficult. Learning something hard is frustrating. Building something meaningful takes time. But those struggles often make life more meaningful, not less. So maybe the good life isn't about maximizing comfort. Maybe it's about balancing a few different things. Growth, relationships, purpose, moments of enjoyment, and the tricky part is that everyone probably has a slightly different balance of those things. Some people want adventure, some people want stability, some people want to build things, some people want to explore ideas, and maybe the real challenge of life is figuring out what combination actually works for you. Because nobody can actually fully tell you what a good life is supposed to look like. You kind of have to figure that out yourself. And that's my take on what actually makes a good life. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. I really like making this type of videos. I'm Nabil. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.